Okay, ready, go. Yeah, so as mentioned earlier, we're going to go over some very, I really emphasize very basics of analytics just to kind of gauge what's going on. Ultimately, the gauge is the conversions. That's the real gauge. Is your phone ringing more? Are you getting more online sales? Really, what is determined as a successful transaction according to your business? So, a few things, here's my contact information. In the event you need to get a hold of me, not a problem. Uh, yeah, we'll go over the stuff right here. And once again, that's me. And there's a big fly in my room. Yeah, I'll give it a few minutes, a second. So go to Google and type in analytics. And then there's going to be right there. So you're going to click that. I already have that open. So in the upper right hand corner is going to be a time frame. Now say I wanted to see for the last year what's been going on with this guy. So I would do that. If I want to compare the year prior, whatever span this and this is, I'd click that right there. So let's click that, and we'll look at the big graph. There's spikes right there, blah, 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 and there's a comparison. So we have, you can get really geeky over here. We're just going to go over the basics. So channels, okay, so where's traffic coming from? Direct, referral, organic. Organic's a natural result you see in the search engine. For example, that right there, organic SEO. This is, would pertain to Google. And these are PPC, which is pay per click. You may also see, contextual banner ads in these areas. So, yeah, keep that in mind. So, organic SEO. So, I want to dive in further. Organic, that could be Bing, could be Yahoo, could be Ask, it could be Google. So, left hand side, drop down to source medium. So here's some more information. Now this typically pertains to people that never logged out of their Gmail, for example, and they just choose to have their searches be private. No one can, penetrate that. It's ironclad. You're not going to find out that data. And as you can see, it's a lot of data. So, yeah. And over here in the right hand side, there's 1 of 10 out of 48. You can drop down and get deeper in there. Some of this is complete nonsense. Some of it is worth something. So say I wanted to just find out Google or organic. Click that. Here's going to be the searches. It's not going to tell me the keywords, the searches, but here's a very relevant thing. Secondary dimension. You can either dimension drop down. You can either metro or city. So metro would be like Los Angeles area. See, it's more of a blanket statement. City would be a city. City ID corresponds to the numerical values for each city. You can get lost in that. So there's that right there. So keep that in mind. That's going to be consistent across quite a few, pretty much all of these over here. You'd also find out what devices they're using. I mean, DEV device. I mean, the Apple people, if you're selling apps, that could really help. But yeah, as I said before, we're going to use broad strokes. So returning to the left-hand side, we go to channels over here, and click on channels over here. Click on organic search. It'll give us, what people are searching. GPS tracker. This is also going to be in a webmaster's tool if your SEO guys set that up. I'm not going to get into that because the purpose of this is just to give you, an idea. So here's another one over here on left hand side, AdWords campaigns. This is very relevant. So there's no campaigns right there, but for one client, I labeled each one of the his campaigns so it renders over here again. AdWords campaigns to which one of his ads, how it's rendering. So some of this is it's actually email campaigns. So I need to broaden this out more, but I can have specifics. If you want to know more about how that's done, there's a video walkthrough I created. Just Google ewebmarketingmastery.com. Google URL builder. You'll see a video right there. It'll show you how that could render. But that's a different topic, but it's there if you want to geek out on that. So So in the same vein as before, we go over acquisition. This is going to change in 20 minutes because Google just does that all the time. Drop down to campaigns, all campaigns. Here's a more of an aerial view. Now once again, we have this over here, bottom right hand corner. Open it up a little bit. Now here's like some of the email campaigns that this is an email campaign. Let's see, this was an email campaign, Black Friday specials. That way we can see on the right hand side if you have your conversion tracking set up, what's rendering and what's not. Now it's a completely different topic, but this all ties in together. I mean, it really it's a matter of how to read the data. So, you know, that's the nickel tour of how to read your data. There's only a few things I pointed you out. It was all traffic, channels, source medium. Remember the secondary dimensions. And you have AdWords campaign there if you have that set up. And then you have campaigns, all campaigns. And yeah, so that should give you a lot of data to geek out. I mean, you can get lost in this stuff. But for now, you know, key things, there's also bounce rate. How long were they on the site? So right here is a bounce rate. Well, they 100% means they're on the site, they saw something they didn't want, and they left. If you have a high bounce rate with a high threshold, a lot of visitors, you got something wrong with the pages. But you can landing page. This will also tell you what pages they're landing on, and of course correspond that with the bounce rate. And that could be an issue. It could also not. For example, one more example. Last one. This client here, he has a very low bounce rate for organic search, less than 1%. So what people are searching for, they're finding and they're hanging out for a while. How many pages they're doing, you know, duration, that's relevant. And you know, you can geek out. There's a lot of conversion. I didn't set up the conversion tracking because the website no longer does e-com. It just showcases inventory. But this is something to consider. Told you as one more example. I lied. Here's another one. Client paid search, for example. I mean, bounce rate. He, you know, I set up his paid search and he has less than 3%. So people are finding what they're looking for, and you know, they're hanging out and they're buying stuff. And display is also AdWords, organic search. Okay, that people are leaving. Referral people. If he's paying for ads for this, he should set up the conversion tracking for the. Look at that URL builder. I'll point that out. An email campaign, you know, right there. So a lot of data right here, a lot of stuff to, you know, I don't want to say figure out, but it's stuff. So, you know, have fun.